Yes, guys. So I want to talk about three things in this video. Okay, three very important things. One of them is very, very sad, and the other two things are also things that are kind of tough to deal with for sure and sad, right? But the one thing I really want to talk about, first thing I'm going to talk about, I'm going to talk about the positive thing first, and then I'll talk about the sad things. Okay, the very sad things. One thing's very, very sad. Okay, very tragic. Okay, so and if I title the video like Model Central, just know that I don't look at the video sometimes and I just title them. Okay, so don't feel like I'm a very mean or horrible person. Some of what I'm going to talk about, and it's going to be a trigger warning, okay? What I'm going to talk about in one of these videos is really, in this video, is really, really bad. Some of I'm going to talk about, okay? But if I title it like Model Goes to Hollywood or something, don't take it badly because I just don't watch the video sometimes when I title it, right? But anyway, so the first thing is positive. So the first thing is, I am going to vote, okay? And no matter what you hear about voting, no matter what you hear about people voting or whatever, I mean, I have people that play games, right? And they say, like one person told me, there's nothing wrong with this person, they're a nice person, they're amazing, right? They're really, really good. But they said, and they might have heard the wrong thing, I don't know, but they said the person, they might have meant it in a different way too, but they said something about the election, they might have meant something in a different way, but they said something in the election, about the election, and it was kind of like deceptive, right? It could be positive, it might not have been. Maybe they meant something else. But it seems deceptive to me, but it might not be, right? I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt because they're nice people, right? But yeah, they said something deceptive, so they made it seem like the voting was already done, which I don't know if they did that on purpose. Maybe they thought the voting was done, I'm not sure. But yeah, I don't know what they meant. Maybe they meant something else, right? I'm going to give them the benefit of that because they're very nice people, okay? But anyway, so yeah, so they said, they made it seem like the voting was already done. The voting for the election in Canada is not done, and we should all vote, right? Everybody, whatever your beliefs are, whatever you think in situations, we should all vote, right? We all want to vote for who we want to believe in, right? And yes, we want to vote for someone that's going to take care of the country. All of us have the power to make a difference in the world by voting, okay? So we should all exercise that, right? All right, that's something, okay? The other thing I'm going to talk about, so I'm going to vote, okay? I am going to vote, okay? So there is something else I want to talk about, two other things, okay? So another thing I want to talk about is Jazz Jennings. Jazz Jennings, the creator, that was like the youngest transgendered person, Jazz Jennings. And she had her trans surgery so early in life, very early in life, that she had basically not even gone through puberty at the time, and so she's not able to experience, what, I'm not going to say it on here because it's risque, but she's not able to experience something that we all love in our dating lives and in our actual lives. She's not able to say that because or not able to experience that because she had her hormone blockers too early and her surgery too early, and it was a botched surgery as well. So yes, so some people can get botched surgery, some people want to get detransitioning. So yeah, I mean, I'm a big influencer now. I mean, I'm not super, super famous, but I'm getting more and more famous. And I want to make sure nobody wants to detransition. You should really if you are wanting an exchange, I'm not wanting one. I'm happy being a man. I love being a man. My dad was gorgeous. I will always be a man. I will never get an exchange. But if you want to get an exchange, and if you're young, you want to get one, you should really be sure of it, right? And you should really make that decision solidly, right? And you should not be coerced, and you should not feel like you have to, right? Because at the end of the day, and if you're too young, you should think about waiting, right? You really should think about waiting until you're past 18, right? Because at the end of the day, some people that are young know, and they definitely know, and maybe it works in their favor and they don't get a botched surgery, but if you're too young, you're not going to be aware that you fully want that yet, right? So, I mean, even if you know for sure, you have to really know for sure, right? And make sure that if you do get those surgeries, you get them done after puberty, because you have to experience your actual life in the most positive way possible, right? Yes, very, very sad. I was very saddened to hear that. So yes, that's what I have to talk about for this part, okay? So now the other thing I was going to talk about is we all, in our lives, we all experience certain kinds of people that try to convince us to have something done or do something in our lives that might ruin our lives, right? A lot of times they've experienced the same thing and they don't want to be alone, so they tell you to go through it, right? You know what I mean? They try to convince you, oh, this is a good idea, right? Like even becoming trans, right? Having an exchange. I mean, if you really didn't want one, some people might try to convince you, and there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe that's what they want to do, or maybe they like trans people a lot, or whatever, right? I mean, it's not necessarily a wrong thing on their end, but if you don't want that, or even just being called chubby, and you're not chubby, and you become anorexic or whatever, right? Like some things are just wrong, right? And sometimes it's not the person's intention. Maybe they have a distorted view of what's chubby and what's not, right? So you know what I mean? Like everybody's different, right? And or maybe they were told the same thing, and they feel like they're chubby, and they might be, you know what I mean? Like some people don't have the best situation in their life, and it's just what they know, right? They might not intentionally try to get you to be a certain way, but maybe they do, right? But maybe that's just all they experience and know, so they want you to experience that, right? And they don't feel it's wrong because they've experienced it, and that to them is what they want for you because you've experienced, or they've experienced that, and they want you to have that because that's all they know, right? It's not necessarily their fault, but if you, like even social media, a lot of people will say, oh, you're not good at social media or whatever, right? But if you know you are, then don't stop, right? And there could be anyone. Like there are people that are really, really famous that get told something and they just give up, right? That's not cool, right? And I want you guys to do well. I want you guys to not listen to that, right? Yes, guys, thank you. Bye now.